This is Northeast Michigan's best news source. You're waking up to WBKB Early Morning, your first look at news, weather, and sports. This is Early Morning.
24-year-old Alpena resident is facing charges after allegedly assaulting a girl at the county library. Plus, Rogers City's council has made a decision to offer a full-time city manager position pending some checks and balances. And this week marked the highest percentage of total ice coverage on the Great Lakes this year. Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Ashley Reed. For our first look at the weather, let's check in with meteorologist Adam Claiborne.
Good morning, Ashley. Temperatures, as we have seen over the previous few mornings, they are chilly, but actually we are above zero, 8 degrees. Southwest winds are at 3 miles per hour. We don't have to worry that much about the winds. And also snow, that's pushing all out of here. We will be expecting partly sunny skies to appear throughout the afternoon, and most of the moisture well off to the east now as you go here into New York, and then also some light snow showers down in Pennsylvania. For us throughout the afternoon, we'll see more of the sun break from behind the clouds, and temperatures, they will be chilly yet again, as we will be a good 15 to 20 degrees below average for this time of the year. How cold will we be here in Alpena? 14 degrees for afternoon high, but by tonight expect temperatures to really plummet as we'll find ourselves below zero. Winds won't be too bad, so we won't be expecting wind chills to be too much more cold than what we will be seeing for our actual air temperatures, but you can see right there on the screen we will be 7 degrees below for us tonight for our overnight low.
Thank you, Adam. Well, a 24-year-old Alpena man is facing criminal charges after allegedly sexually assaulting a girl this past weekend. Saturday, city police in Alpena were called to the county library to respond to a sexual assault complaint. Once officers arrived on the scene, they spoke to the victim, a young girl who then reported the sexual assault. Through working with library staff and surveillance footage, officers were able to identify the suspect. They later arrested the man at his home. He is being charged with criminal sexual conduct in the second degree, a felony that carries a maximum sentence of 15 years in prison. Names of both the suspect and the victim are not being released at this time. And police are asking for the public's help in learning more about an accident that occurred yesterday morning in Alpena. The Alpena Police Department was called to the intersection of Chisholm Street and Long Rapids Road just before 6:30 yesterday morning in response to a two-vehicle accident. One person was transported by ambulance to the Alpena Regional Medical Center. He was released after being treated for minor injuries. An investigation revealed a vehicle traveling northwest on Chisholm Street attempted to turn left on Long Rapids Road. While making the turn, the vehicle was struck by an oncoming vehicle traveling southeast on Chisholm Street. The crash resulted in a conflict between the drivers, both saying they had the right-of-way. Anyway, anyone who witnessed the accident is asked to call Officer Chet Spencer at 989-354-1800. And the city of Rogers City has been without a city manager since mid-October. Last night, the council made a motion to hire a full-time manager. Councilman McLennan made a motion to offer Joe Heffel a full-time city manager position pending contract negotiations and a background check. Mayor Pro Tem Gary Nowak seconded his motion. Councilman Bylis voted no in roll call, but yes on the second motion that was presented to explore the possibility of a shared city manager with Onaway. Heffel has been the city manager of Onaway for 12 and a half years now.
Is it going to be cost effective for us to do that? And if it is, how would we structure it?
Okay.
So that's, those are the unknowns. I think council was fairly confident in Joe's abilities to be a city manager for us. And some of us are equally confident that there's an opportunity there that we don't want to close the door on just yet.
A few residents spoke out against the idea of a joint city manager, as well as one who expressed concern in a letter. Mayor Pro Tem Nowak says that although a joint manager would save the city money, they need to look into if this would in fact be the right way to save money. The city attorney and Heffel will be negotiating possible contracts in the meantime. Mayor Sobek says he hopes to have a final decision sooner than later. And another near record in the books this winter, as the freezing temperatures have created massive ice coverage on all 5 Great Lakes. This week marked the highest percentage of total ice coverage this year at about 90.5%. That's the third highest percentage in the 40 years of records since 1973. The highest ice coverage dates back to 1979 when it was around 94.7%. Colder than normal air temperatures in the fall and early winter made this year's ice season begin earlier than in previous years. There were reports of ice coverage on the Great Lakes as early as November.
Temperatures are going to start to moderate over the next week to 2 weeks for sure. So hopefully that'll stop that ice coverage from going to 100%. A lot of that area that's not covered now is the real deeper parts of the Great Lakes, so it'll be a little hard to form it to 100%.
Lake Huron, Superior, Michigan, and Erie all reached 90% or more ice coverage this week. That hasn't happened since 1994. New software updates at the Alpena County Equalization Department are helping the department run more efficiently. The county commissioners approved the purchase of an updated software program to work in conjunction with the department's new computers. Previously, the software used was a 20-year-old DOS-based program that was not compatible with the updated computers. The new $13,000 software will ultimately save the county $2,500 a year combined with the GIS program.
As the state keeps changing the way they're doing things, and the state is constantly updating and they're constantly making changes, our software is limited in what we can do. Our current software is very limited in what we can do with it. Where the new BSNA, they work with the state directly. It will create a lot more efficiency for us and better tracking of the parcel data.
The BSNA software will be equipped with GIS capability that will allow the county to save time during property assessments and equalization reports. The Northeast Michigan Council of Governments will be taking over the GIS website and replacing the county's Maps and Deeds link, which will allow the public to view maps and parcels. The previous company used by the county to sell map data online went out of business. And the League of Women Voters of Alpena County is offering the public the opportunity to learn more about running for office. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization that encourages informed and active participation in the government. They're holding a forum that will help inform the public on elections, the voting process, and how to run for local office. A number of candidates will be in attendance and available to answer any questions.
We have booklets to hand out if you'd like to run for public office. Maybe you've thought about it, but you thought, well, maybe it's a little scary. Am I really up to this or not? To come and help people understand the process and to see if anybody would be interested in moving forward with their political careers.
This informal educational get-together will be held at Fletcher Street Brewery on March 13th from 7 to 9 p.m. The next primary election will be held on August 5th. The last day for candidates to register for that election is July 7th. And Relay for Life held their big Kickstarter event Monday night at the Marine Sanctuary in Alpena to get community members prepared for the big event coming in August. As of last night, 15 teams were registered for the Relay of Life event that will be held on August 16th this year at a new location. The team was very happy to announce they will be moving the festivities to the Heritage Trail behind the Marine Sanctuary to make things bigger and better. Last year they had a total of 42 teams registered, and they are hoping to top that this year.
There's so many cures for cancer that are just sitting on the shelf that aren't getting funded because they can't test them and whatnot. So this event helps to go fund those ideas, and it seems like I myself in the last 2 months have had 8 different people that I know get diagnosed, and it's scary, and we need to find a cure.
Penny Bouldry, an Alpena resident, spoke out as a cancer survivor at last night's gathering and recognized all of the cancer survivors and caregivers in the audience. If you are interested in signing up a team, you can email relayforlifealpena@gmail.com. And you can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on other news items online. Just visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night. Or if you haven't already, add us on Facebook, facebook.com/WBKBTV. Sports is next with Shannon McGrath, and she'll head to Buckley, where Aranac Eastern took on Bel Air in round 1 of regionals. Stay right here on WBKB 11 for all that and more as the news continues.
The ladies of Aranac Eastern beat Augrey Sims and Hale by 35-plus points in the district semifinals and finals. Last night, however, the Eagles took on a bigger beast as they headed to Buckley, looking to continue their postseason run. Regional 30 starting with a battle of the Eagles. Bel Air and Aranac Eastern pick things up late in the fourth. Bel Air up 3 with possession. Eastern forcing a turnover. Brooke Schutte hitting the deck to head Brooke Sendo, who gets fouled. She would make both free throws, and we got a 1-point game. Eastern would intentionally foul. Madeline Ballin makes 2 clutch free throws. That gives Bel Air a 43-40 lead in the final seconds. So last chance for Aranac Eastern. Schutte from 3/4 court for the tie, and that's no good. AE falls 43-40, ending its season 22-3. Taking a look at other girls' scores from last night, Alcona was unable to win down south. The Lady Tigers end their season 19-4 after losing 68-56 to Beaverton. And northwest of Alpena, Posen broke a school record, as you can see by the picture. The Vikings are now 24-0 after last night's 66-28 win over Pellston. Last night's victory breaks the school record, like I said, and the Vikings will look to continue that record on Thursday in Pellston against Brimley. Tip-off is at 7. Have the longest winning streak in school history? Check. Win the North Star League outright? Check. Bring home back-to-back district titles? We're still in progress. Saying this season has been a successful one for the Hillman boys basketball team is an understatement. The Tigers ended the regular season 18-1, continuing their 14-game winning streak to finish 8th in Class D high school basketball rankings. This year, Hillman has home advantage for districts and hopes the familiar court will be just what the Tigers need to continue this year's history book year against the Hurons of Rogers City tonight at 7:30.
It's not very often you get to host in the state tournament, and we're very fortunate to do that this year. So, you know, we're just kind of keeping the focus on what we do. It's been a great run so far, and we're not ready to stop.
Our whole team's just coming together as a unit, as one, and we're all playing ball really well. I mean, like Coach always tells us, our bench just as deep as our starters, so that's always good to know.
As I mentioned, Hillman will play Rogers City tonight at 7:30, but starting the night will be Onaway and Posen. Tip-off for the Cardinals and Vikings is set for 6. Other Class D action in Augrey Sims has the host playing Hale in the first game, followed by Atlanta and Fairview balling out for a spot in Friday's finals. In Oscoda, Alcona and Houghton Lake start tonight's action, while the Owls and Thunderbolts play at 7:30. Wrapping up Class C in Mansalona, Joburg plays its first district game against Boise City. The Cardinals also tip off at 7. Heading west, Alpena's only loss of the season came on the road at TC Central tonight. The continue their current 19-game winning streak. For highlights and scores from all those games, tune into WBKB News at 11. In the NCAA, Michigan headed to Illinois last night. Halfway through the first half, Zach Irvin kick out to Nick Stoskis. He was 7 of 9 from behind the arc. Michigan up 34-17. Glenn Robinson the third dunking the steal. Then Stoskis finds Irvin for a 3. Wolverines end the half up 22. Jump into the second half, Derek Walton Jr. down low to John Horford. Michigan wins its first outright Big Ten district title since 1986, winning 84-53 last night. Moving to the ice, the Red Wings haven't won 3 consecutive games since December, but last night Detroit ends its road stretch in New Jersey, sitting on a 2-game winning streak out of the Olympic break. To the action, NHL's all-time winningest goalie Martin Brodeur potentially playing his final game in a Devils uniform, and his team takes control within seconds, making it 1-0 as Adam Herink. That goal's good after the review. Nodding in at 11 minutes later is Johan Franzen. He ended last night with 2 points. In the second period, still 1-1. Brendan Smith gives the Wings their first lead. Then Thomas Tatar tries to extend Detroit's lead, but 4-3 New Jersey would be the final. Brodeur ended the night with 20 saves. And that's it for your sports this morning, but be sure to tune in later for highlights and scores from local boys basketball district games. Ashley, back to you.
Thanks, Shannon. Now for a look at what we can expect outside today, let's turn it back over to meteorologist Adam Claiborne. Adam.
All right, thank you, Ashley. As we take a look back at temperatures, we are pretty chilly out there as Current temperatures are in the single digits, and we are at 2 in Gaylord, 8 here in Alpena, 16 in Rogers City, and 16 down in Tawas City. This afternoon, temperatures, they will be chilly as we'll start to kind of just level off around the middle teens for afternoon highs. As we take a look back towards the west, we are at 12 degrees in Bismarck, 17 in Minneapolis, but we are also noticing not those sub-zero temperatures. So a warmer air mass is trying to work its way into the United States. It will be coming in from the southern plains and trying to push its way here into the Great Lakes by Thursday and Friday. So we will have to deal with just one more day of the very chilly stuff. As we take a look at our satellite and radar, you can already see the impacts of that warmer air. A little farther off here to the west in Iowa, they're actually having mixed precipitation. But as you go farther north, all snow, that is not going to be heading towards us, as that system should dive off to our south. So for our afternoon, expect these clouds that we have around, they will start to break apart, and we'll see more of the sun during the late afternoon and during our evening before clear skies await us by tonight. Current winds, not too breezy, 3 miles per hour in Alpena, and it's currently a calm wind in Oscoda, while sitting at 6 here in Houghton Lake. And our wind chills, well, they're not too far off from what our actual temperatures are currently at. 2 here in Alpena, 11 in Rogers City, and 2 below. Next, you can make your way up into Sault Ste. Marie. What's ahead for us today? It'll be sunny and chilly as we start off this morning, but cold, and we'll have some brisk winds as they'll start to pick up around 10 to 15 miles per hour, so we'll have to watch out for that. But the mercury really plummets tonight. Winds will begin to die off, and we're not going to be expecting temperatures to stay above zero like we did this morning. Will actually be below zero as we head through tonight. This area of high pressure, it will move off towards the east, and that will actually allow things to warm back up for us as we go into Thursday and Friday. But for today, the intensely cold air, it sticks around. Snow showers, they are out of here. All that moisture is well off to our south. Sunny skies, they reappear for us on Thursday, and that is when highs will return back to the 20s. And Friday, yeah, we could even make our way back into the 30s. Let's talk about what will be happening today. 14 degrees for our afternoon high. That's a good 15, maybe even 20 degrees in some locations below average. 7 below for our overnight low tonight, and we'll see east winds at 5 miles per hour. Pretty frigid day for us here into March. As we take a look at our extended outlook, highs will be in the 30s on Friday, with our next disturbance bringing us about a 30% chance of snow before this weekend becomes more clear and colder.
Well, temperatures looking to be a little bit warmer. That makes me happy. Thank you, Adam. Tune in tonight for WBKB 11 News at 6. We'll have updates in news, sports, and weather. Felina Jones and Lindsay Idaluca will have your news. Meteorologist Adam Claybon will have the weather. And Shannon McGrattan will have all your updates from the world of sports. When WBKB Early Morning returns, a dramatic rescue after a pregnant mother drives her minivan into the ocean with her 3 children inside. Stay tuned. Good morning and welcome back. I'm Ashley Reed. In national news, frightening video out of Florida caught on camera. A dramatic rescue of a mother and her 3 children after their minivan ended up in the ocean. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports on the rescue from New York.
Witnesses ran into the surf in Daytona Beach, Florida late yesterday afternoon, desperately trying to stop a minivan from driving further into the ocean. Inside, a pregnant mother who was behind the wheel and her 3 young children trapped.
My friend pointed out that there was a car getting really close to the beach and actually started driving on the water, and I saw a little kid in the back like waving his arms around, like screaming, "Help, help us," and then the car kept going deeper.
You can see the mother walking away from the minivan after rescuers got her out. A tourist shot this video from the beach. It shows 2 of the children being carried out of the water away from the vehicle. And then rescuers pluck the remaining child from the open trunk, moments before a huge wave crashes over the top of the minivan. Investigators are trying to figure out how and why the vehicle ended up in the water, but witnesses say it appeared deliberate.
When the bystanders went to help, she clearly went deeper into the ocean, much deeper into the ocean. She drove right towards it and faster. So it seems hard to believe that that was accidental.
The family is from South Carolina, the 3 children all under the age of 10. They were taken to a local hospital for treatment of minor injuries. Wendy Gillette for CBS News.
And the Volusia County Sheriff's Office confirmed this morning that the mother who was driving the vehicle is pregnant and is still in police custody. A Sheriff's Department spokeswoman reportedly described her as incoherent and uncooperative after the rescue. And tensions appear to be easing a bit in the standoff in Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula. Diplomats are meeting today to discuss ways out of the crisis. CBS's Susan McGinnis has the details from Washington, D.C.
Diplomacy takes center stage today surrounding Russia's invasion of Ukraine. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry will meet with his Russian counterpart this morning in Paris.
President Obama and I want to make it clear to Russia and to everybody in the world that we are not seeking confrontation.
Last night, President Obama talked about a possible resolution with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. The proposal would allow Russian troops to stay in Crimea, but on their bases in the region. And international monitors would ensure ethnic Russians in Ukraine are protected. Russian President Vladimir Putin calls the invasion a humanitarian mission to protect those Russians living in Ukraine. He also said he would use force if needed. But while politicians talk, Russian soldiers are digging in.
Once they are there, there's really not a whole lot of reason, judging by what Putin's done in the past, to think that they're going to leave.
The U.S. is still considering economic sanctions against Russia. Susan McGinnis, CBS News, Washington.
Now, President Putin said economic sanctions would not deter him. However, Russian firms lost nearly $60 billion on the Moscow stock market over worries about the Ukrainian invasion. Coming up next on WBKB Early Morning, we'll have one last look at weather. Welcome back. I'm Ashley Reed. Let's go back to meteorologist Adam Claiborne for one last look at weather. Adam?
Thank you, Ashley. Again, 8 degrees, mostly cloudy conditions. South-southwest winds are at 3 miles per hour, but the clouds, they don't have any more snow showers with them. We'll be noticing throughout the afternoon as well more of the sun that will break from behind the clouds that are currently within our region. But as we continue to look at our satellite and radar, we have snow well off to our east, and we have another system just off to our west that will be diving onto the south. So don't be expecting that snow to impact us. Throughout the afternoon, temperatures, they will be chilly, as we'll see highs only in the middle teens, and that's a good 10 to 15 degrees below average. But taking a look at our day planner, you can see that for us in Alpena, we'll be at 14 degrees for our afternoon high before temperatures really cool off by tonight. We'll have a low of 7 degrees below zero. Most of us will be below zero yet again. Winds won't be too high, so not expecting wind chills to be too much farther off than what we will be seeing for our actual air temperatures. Maybe wind chills could be anywhere between 10 to 15 degrees below zero.
All right, thanks, Adam. Be sure to tune in tonight for WBKB 11 News at 6 for updates on news, sports, and weather. Valina Jones and Lindsay Adeluca will have your news. Meteorologist Adam Claiborne will have the weather, and Shannon McGrattan will have updates from the world of sports. Also, don't forget, you can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on other news items online. Just visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night, or add us on Facebook, facebook.com/WBKBTV. That's all we have for you today on WBKB Early Morning. Thanks for watching. Good Morning America's up next.